Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Davis, and you are watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am scandalous like an Ashley. And I do want to remind everybody that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Pocket Jack Comics. And my good friend Preston right now has a Kickstarter going on, Palace of the Golden Princess, which is an awesome, fun, sexy comic. There's a lot of sexy covers on that campaign. So if you like women in power, kicking ass, taking names, doing some other stuff, it's got a D&D feel to it. Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons. I want to make that crystal clear, everybody. But it does have some other D&D in there as well. But not the point. So go check that out. It's an awesome thing, and a bunch of covers already sold out. So if you're looking to get in, he's killing it, and he might break 10,000 for the first time on his campaign. Awesome, and he's a really good sponsor of this show. So obviously, much appreciated to my friend Preston, and I think you'll enjoy the book. But enough about that, because I have with me, and I'm not exactly sure how to describe you, influencer, social media person, TV star to some degree,
Entertainer,
entertainer, judge for LFC, obviously Trap Daddy Gambino. So welcome to the show.
How you doing, brother? It's nice to be here. I appreciate it.
No, I'm excited because either I followed you or you followed me on Instagram a while back, and then every once in a while you just like a picture of mine, I like something of yours, or I comment on something of yours and you comment back. And obviously I'm a big LSC fan because that's also where I know you from, and because you judge there, and you got a lot of stuff going on, and obviously you've gone on a very interesting journey in the last few years. And you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. You cannot talk about it. It's totally up to you. But obviously, why don't you quickly introduce yourself on who you are, what you've done, and all that stuff, because some people know you, some people don't, and some people are like, oh, this is an interesting guest on a Monday for Andrew.
Yeah, man. Well, I should say I started out as just a fan of MMA, and I wanted to get into MMA, so I started sponsoring fighters way back in 2014 in Ohio, and then I started boxing to lose weight, basically, which led me into fighting. Then I got into fighting, and fighting got me on the Dr. Phil show. The Dr. Phil show got me on some other reality TV shows. I've done shows with Stone Cold, Steve Austin. I was on Divorce Court. I was on a couple other reality shows and stuff like that. So I did the whole influencer thing. I've competed as an influencer and quote unquote celebrity out here for high rollers in Las Vegas. I fought MMA all over the country, boxed, did jujitsu, and now I'm trying to just lose weight, turn into an entrepreneur, and get into boxing.
Yeah, so let's break this down a little bit, because obviously we've seen fighters and people in UFC and then boxing and then other stuff go from obviously being a fighter to becoming influential, whether it's with their own products, obviously being hired. And so what was that like? Because I think it's very interesting when people come from sports and then they go into influencing, and it's a really big deal right now with NIL stuff going on.
I go ahead.
Oh, no, please interrupt me.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like mine was almost the opposite because I actually got invited to the Dr. Phil show before I fought MMA, and it was because I was training and I was talking about how I wanted to fight MMA and how I wanted to be an MMA fighter. So, the Dr. Phil show brought me on and basically told me I was too fat to be an MMA fighter, and my dreams are delusional. I'm delusional. He pretty much made me look bad in front of everybody. So I had
Let's
no
actually talk
choice
about
but to
that.
leave. And
Let's actually talk about that issue, because I don't ever tell anybody they can't do something within reason. If you say, Andrew, I could fly, I'm going to go jump out of a building, I'm going to politely advise you not to do it. I'm not going to say, if you want to go and try, I mean, I can't physically stop somebody from trying. I'm going to highly encourage and politely say you're not a bird, right? But
Right.
if because I want to go own a sports team, I think it's crazy to tell somebody they can't do something.
Yeah. To be fair, I would say my story is a little bit crazier than most because, you know, even if I told myself last year I'd be where I am now, I probably wouldn't believe myself. But you know, I had ambitions and I had confidence, and he took that confidence as arrogance and you know, cockiness. And I left the show, and I eventually lost a little bit of weight and became an MMA fighter. And now I'm still losing weight, so I kind of proved them wrong. And I tried to get back on the show, and you know, I asked producers and everything, but they wasn't having it. So unfortunately, I still get people to this day contacting me telling me I'm delusional for wanting to be an MMA fighter, even though I've already fought MMA and did jujitsu and all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, it is just a TV show, and I knew what I was getting myself into, and I did it on purpose just to get my name out there, and because of that, I was the main event for my MMA debut, which is pretty cool, and you know, I get to skip the line on a lot of things.
So what is that like too? Because that goes into influencing as well, where obviously that's also part of this. I mean, the whole point of boxing, I feel, is that you gotta obviously fight in the ring, but there's all this promo build up to boxing. There's all this storylines. There's all the cut interviews that they play before a fight. And you want to draw a crowd. You want to have an incident at the weigh-in. And all this stuff is theatrics because you need a reason why do people want to beat the shit out of each other, for lack of a better word. And so what is that like that you got on that show and then all of a sudden you're now the main event and your debut, and you now have attention on you.
It's a cheat code, but it's also a double-edged sword because you know, there's a lot of fighters who have been fighting for like 10 years on the amateur cards, and they're like below me on the card. And it makes no sense because they've put in a lot of work, you know, in real fighting. And, you know, there's some of them are black belts and stuff like that. And then they got me on the card just because I got more followers and been on TV. So it's kind of like a cheat code, but it's also it's evolution. You know, they can't really blame me for taking. It might be a shorter ladder, but it's just like a different way to get there. You know what I mean? It's not fair to everybody, but life's not fair, and it's not easy. It's just a different road.
See, that's interesting, right? Because I have evolved, and I'm not an influencer per se, but I could be influential. I think everybody can be influential, but I mean, maybe I am an influencer. I don't know. I mean, I have a few sponsors on my show. I don't know if that makes me an influencer or that's just a sponsor, whatever it is. But what I think is interesting is that when you do discover a way how to get attention, and that you quote unquote cheat coded or you're reworking the system, and I think people bitch and whine, and I'm curious how you feel about this, is because they didn't think of it, they can't do it, they don't see the pattern, they don't take the risk to do it. And there's a reason why I'm growing on YouTube right now, and that I've done what I've done this year before the end of June that I did all last year and then some. Is I started doing things differently, and people are saying, "Why are you growing and I'm not?"
Yeah,
And I think part of it is also the idea that did you put in the work?
yeah, man. I get a lot of people who are, you know, quote unquote jealous, and they attack the low hanging fruit, which is I'm a fat guy. So, you know, I've been working on that for a while now. I feel like once I'm in shape, it won't be so easy to attack me, and it'll be a lot easier to look up to me. But it's hard to look up to a fat guy. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna put a poster up on my wall of some fat guy and be like, unless it's Buddha, and be like, that's who I want to be.
So
You know what I
you
mean?
don't have a John Daly poster in your room?
Not yet.
I love John Daly. He's For those who don't know, and I'm going to tell you, he's a big fat golfer, and he always be cursing, and he'd be like drinking a beer on the court, and a cigar, and he had like a putter. But he was a good golfer, and he was fun to watch because he's the everyman's golfer.
It's like the real life Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas type guy, right?
No, it was great. It was great, and he was on the PGA Tour, and he was fun to watch. and people loved him, and he made a lot of money because he was always on TV, and he'd get pissed off and he'd just smash his club. It was great. But he was a good golfer, and he's just smoking a cigar. You just see all these golfers being athletic. You got a big fat guy who can obviously play golf.
Yeah.
And it was great.
And to that point, I feel like a lot of people see themselves in me because I'm a big guy and because I'm not perfect. And I feel like they can't understand like how I did it when they can't. You know what I mean? It's weird. But not everybody's the same. So
talk about that. So I actually want to ask you this, because this is really interesting to me, is that, and I'll disclose, I have a physical disability. It's not a secret. And I'm like, I just go out there and I do it, right? Like, I just want to get something done, and I want to run my business, and I go to my job every day and it works. And okay, you just do it, you figure it out. And I don't really get why people, it's kind of like, do you want it, or is there something else? Because for me, I'm fearless. If I go bankrupt, fuck it. I've gotten to the point where I don't care anymore, and fuck it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to go do it. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to fail. But if I do, okay, I failed so many times before in my life. I have legitimately tried to do 10 different businesses, and it took me legitimately 9 to figure out what to do. And some of them, were successful and made money, but they weren't good businesses. But it's brought me to a point. And if I didn't go in with the mentality of saying, fuck it, I might fail, I'll never get off my ass. And so I'm curious if you feel it's that, or do you feel it's something else? Because to me, what you're doing is, I don't think you're doing anything special. I think anybody can do what you've done if they put their mind to it.
I used to think that, but now I don't anymore. I used to say that, but now I don't anymore. And my wife was one of those people who kind of corrected me on that. If you really break down everything that I've accomplished from where I came from, I really think that it's a one of a kind story. And, it takes a special person to do what I've done. And it's only getting crazier, man, because I don't know. I came from basically the impossible, and I'm not where I want to be yet. But man, like from where I was, it's like night and day. It's almost like a dream world. But it took a lot of sacrifice and a lot of self reflection for sure.
See, the reason why I say it the way I say it is that I think that if you just wake up and say, I want more in my life, it's weird, because I had a hard time, and then something happened to me 2 years ago, where literally 15 things all happened in a row on the same day, and it was 15 choices that I could have gone in that were fantastic choices, all legitimately happened within 45 minutes of each other, with my phone cutting out on half of them. And the only good decision I made that whole day was I got Dunkin' Donuts before all of this went down. Was the best decision I made that entire day. I got a job offer. I got the ability to get a corrective surgery. I got the potential to go back to school and have that fully funded. And it was one of those crazy circumstances where, what now? What happens now, in which that I have options that didn't exist before?
Yeah, man. I go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the Phillies are up, which is good for me. But continue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. Like, I wish I had like the fuck it that you have, like the no fear, and just putting myself out there. To be honest, I'm still trying to find that, and I don't have that. But I have the total opposite.
I have fears. I'll be honest.
I have anxiety. I have.
I'm terrified of escalators, man. They scare the shit out of me. Because it's not the beginning of the escalator, everybody. It's that top where that grate is, and my big fear, my shoe's gonna get caught in like the lace, and then it's gonna be like, I'm gonna be stuck. I can't get out. And like, I'm gonna try to get it, and I'm gonna use force, and I'm gonna go over the edge. That's my
Yeah.
biggest fear on an escalator.
You'd think what I do, for a living and what I've been through, that I wouldn't have any like social anxiety at all. But it's literally like the total opposite. I have social anxiety going to the bank and talking to the bank teller. But like I've been through so much. I gotta keep reminding myself. Like I came here to Vegas 6 years ago, homeless, with no car, no job, no family, or nothing like that. And then I slowly but surely started making a name for myself. And then the whole tragedy happened last year, and I'm coming back from that. And I feel like even the fact that I'm still standing here after that tragedy, is it says a lot, because I could be in like a fucking psych ward or something, right? I feel like most probably would be in a psych ward or in jail or in a bar down in some booze or something right now if they went through what I went through. And thankfully I was strong enough to climb out of that and work hard enough to get us out of the hole that we was in after those tragedies. And we're here now, but I still got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. A lot of weight to lose too.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I get it. Which I got a lot of weight to lose myself. So I get it. It's hard. It's hard.
What's your
Um,
goal?
my goal might be maybe 15, 20 pounds to
Oh man,
lose. But it's
to a
tricky
big guy, that's not much.
when you have a physical disability, you have to find exercises that work.
Yeah.
So when you can't run or jog,
Mm.
things like swimming, and you got to find a good pool that's safe. It's also figuring out time. It's also figuring out your work schedule. It's also figuring out some other shit. It's also figuring out finances, because you got to join a pool gym.
Yeah, trust me, I know it's a headache.
It,
It's
it,
like a
it,
religion to get in shape nowadays.
and
Like
then
you have to
also,
treat it like a religion.
I want to find accountability partners, and that's hard, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
so I want like a swimming buddy or a workout buddy, and it'll be great. He's like, "Yo, dude, where the fuck were you at 6 in the morning, man? I'm fucking pissed at you. What the fuck?"
yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, you're 5 minutes late. What the fuck, man? I got to work. And I'm gonna get 55 minutes of swim time, you motherfucker. Like, I
That's
can't
why
like."
I'm blessed to be in Las Vegas, where it's like it's filled with so many people who want to work out every day, all day.
I
Keeps
would
me on my
I would
toes.
love that. I would love to be in like Gold's gyms, and just like it'd be great. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah,
Um, but no, I do want to dive into something, because I was doing a little research, and I did check out some of your other interviews that you've done, and you brought up a really interesting point about entrepreneurship and some other stuff and influencers. And I don't think you've left the market, right, of influencing, but I do think that you've had a change of opinion on it. And
yeah, big time.
I don't love influencers, for a lot of reasons. I think half the products they influence are shitty products.
Yeah,
I think the other half are okay. And I'll be honest, I mean, I'll put it this way, right? It depends on the product, right? So I've never used Manscaped, right? It's not my thing. Okay. I prefer razors not anywhere near my balls, to be
yeah.
quite honest. Maybe, yeah, I mean, the guys who are into that, that's all you.
I
Um,
didn't hear good things about Manscaped. I will say that.
I don't hear bad things or good things. I just don't want a razor near my balls, is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
There's boundaries here, guys. But not the point. But I don't think Manscaped is a bad product. But then somebody is doing a product called the Otaku Box, and I bought 3 of them, and 2 of them were great, and 1 of them was shitty. 33% of that was a bad product. So what month am I getting this, that you're a top cosplayer who's an influencer and you're selling me a shitty product? Like, where 33 or half the time is going to be bad for that month.
yeah. And to
And
these
that's
influencers, it's money over everything for sure. And being somebody who, like, I do this for a living. I work with like big celebrities and stuff on their social medias, and like guys like the Liver King. Like I work for him on his social media, and it's literally just everything's a funneling project. even with the biggest and the smallest, and it always boils down to money. Whether it helps people or not, money's always the most important thing. And I feel like one day this is all going to go full circle, and like I was saying on my story, I feel like everything's going to go like full circle, and we're going to start having to sort out the actual stuff instead of seeing it in the promoted. Because right now, promotions is everywhere, and it's oversaturated. And like you said, like products, everybody's just promoting products just for the sake of promoting products and to making money, whether it's good or not.
No, again, I'm not in this position. I vet my sponsors. I turned down a very not I turned down 3 years of money that would cover my, stream, yard position, which is 240 times 3. So not a lot of money, but enough money that all of a sudden you don't have to worry about money for 3 years, for your base costs, because I thought the product was a shitty product, and I thought it would betray
Yeah, I
my
respect that.
I thought it would betray my audience, and I thought also the guy who was trying to do it was gonna torture me. He was gonna torture me. And I didn't wanna be bothered. I don't want somebody telling me how to run my show ever. This is my show. This is not your show, right? No, no, and I say that not your show as in everybody. My guest, this is not their show. This is
Right.
a show that I want my guest on. And he was probably gonna try to influence the show. He was paying me what I felt was under, still decent amount of money. And I also thought his product was shitty. And it's a 50-50 crapshoot what he does. He's a nice guy, but I don't he wasn't a good fit and his product's not a good fit. And I think that's a real problem right now. And I think that we're getting, and this is just my opinion. I think there's an issue of brand authenticity and authentication and being authentic. And I think that's starting to come back to a lot of influencers
You
right
know
now.
where I think an issue with that also is because these influencers are stuck in a weird area. Like, for example, I'm in an area where I'm trying to figure out like how to profit off of my quote unquote influence. And obviously, I still have some work to do. Like, I'm still gonna do some boxing and some TV shows and stuff like that, so I can get my fan base up. But once I do have that big fan base, like, how do I profit off of it? Like, what do I make a course? And I don't want the course to be bullshit. I want it to be shit that I actually know. Or do I make a book or a clothing line? Because we're in this weird area where like we can't just go and get a job at McDonald's with like 200,000 followers. I mean, we can, but man, that's a pride. It's not only a pride hit, but it's a like you're not doing something right hit. Like if you have 200,000 followers and you have to work at McDonald's, then obviously like you're not taking advantage of that fan base. And I feel like a lot of us don't know what the fuck to do. So we just like latch on to whatever brand prime, energy or whatever.
I'm so different, right? I don't want to be an influencer. I'm running
Yeah.
a business. And my objective is to run a business. In the next 90 days, my business is going to be able to afford to allow me to have a cash distribution and be relatively self-sustaining. And probably I'm going to be unwinding components of it or reducing some inventory while bringing in a lot less of certain inventory and balancing it out more. So I sell cards like sports cards and trading cards, and I sell comic books. And so I'm going to be slowly tinkering down the comic stuff to a little bit less, move some of that inventory out, and bring in some more cards and have a healthier balance. Because when one works, the other doesn't. But I never ever wanted to be an influencer. I just want my business to be healthy, and then I have a day job on top of that. And so, like, this is what I don't understand about influencers is that don't you want to run a business and use your influence to leverage further sales for your business? And then, sure, you're a spokesperson. And I was just watching Oatmeals on Shark Tank, and that woman is a spokesperson for Quaker Oats, and she has an oatmeal business on the side, or she's the spokesperson on the side, and she has a business, and they're symbiotic.
Yeah, see, that's the smart. That's pretty much what I learned a little later in this, but that's the smart way to go, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to structure the business into the influence and not do it a bullshit way, because everybody does it a bullshit way. And like it's hard to not do it, because essentially, the art of business is essentially fucking people over. But you gotta, if you do
But
it the right way, you
is
can fuck
it,
people
is
over and
it?
make them like it.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. So I got no problem saying this. I buy WNBA cards. To buy a single one from Panini, it's $10. What do you think I sell mine for to my customers?
I have no idea about the
Take a
card.
guess. Throw me a number.
So you buy them for 10?
No. To buy one from Panini, it costs $10. What do you think I sell one in my store for?
20, 30?
Nope. I buy at wholesale, which is way cheaper. And so I pass those costs on. And so I'm selling for $7 or $8 with free shipping to my customers. So my customers say, I don't want to buy 10 or 20 of these or 25 of these and get a cheaper rate, because then I'm going to have 24 of them that I don't want. But I'll pay $8 with free shipping, because you still have to pay the $5 shipping from Panini. And so I'm saving $7. And so how am I fucking you over in that?
Right.
And then I think people say you're charging too much by $7. Would you take $4.50 for it? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, how am I fucking you over? Like, so it's like, dude, you're fucking me over and you're charging too much. I'm like, dude, it's $3 cheaper.
Yeah.
Like,
It
so
kind of reminds me of those guys who sell like the single keys on the keyboards. Like you don't need the whole keyboard, but you need like the letter K.
exactly. So the point I'm making is that I get that business, sometimes you have to fuck people over, but I'll give you an example. I bought something today that sold out within about 20 minutes. So it was a $40 item. I'm selling it for $75. Other people are selling it for $150. Some people are selling it for like $120, but I'm just trying to make my money in and out, and I'm not trying to ultimately screw somebody, but I should make some money for being well aware that the product was available when it was available.
Right.
There's nothing fundamentally wrong with that. And then so I don't think I'm fucking somebody over per se. I could charge $120 for that item, and it will sell, but I also want to sell the item, because I want to get
there's some selfish guys out there that'll, anything's fucking them over. But it's just what I was trying to say is, like, you got to step on a little bit of toes, what I mean, to get anywhere in business. And but you got to do it the right way, though. What I mean, like you're doing it obviously the right way, and I'm learning to do it the right way before I even attempt, because it's I'm learning to do it before I even get the LLC and all that stuff, because there's a couple businesses I want to run. One including one you'll probably like, topless taco business.
you mean the toppings are topless?
No, it's actually a topless taco truck with the girls are going to be in like pasties.
I was just making a joke because I thought it was funny. Like the toppings are topless. Oh, sorry.
That's what I'm hoping. Like, people will tell their wives, like, no, it just means like topless. The tacos are topless.
Oh my god! Just the bottoms are definitely in a soft shell. Yeah, I mean, you know how many shirts you're gonna sell? You're gonna create a shirt business that sells tacos called Topless Tacos. The shirt company.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and there's so many loopholes with that shit too. I got so much work to do ahead of me in front of that, just to get the license and everything, and for not to be considered a sexual business. That in itself is hard.
See, I don't have any licensures. That's what I love about my business, is that I figured out a business where I know everything about cards. I know everything about comics. And then I interview people in the comic space. And so this is my research arm. And so I figured out how to symbiotic use this show and speak to a bunch of people in a bunch of different realms. So obviously, Bella Rockefeller, Bella Madison, Jen Thomas. I don't think that I could say those names. I don't think I'm going to get into too much trouble if their names are mentioned here. Hopefully, we won't get into too much trouble, right?
Yeah, shout out to all of them for sure.
We could all hurt you and me, probably both. But anyway,
some tough girls.
all jokes aside, where I'm going with this is that every time I speak to somebody, I get a different insight into a business, into a component, and I'm smart enough to know that then I can leverage that outward, and you meet people who change your perspective on things. But I figured out a business that works for me that I can play in. Now, at some point, I'm going to have to get a wholesale license. But right now, I don't need one because I can buy wholesale from Panini all day, and they're happy to sell to me without a license. But then they're happy to sell anybody without a license because they want people like me to sell, because they want to sell a lot of cards to people like me and want me to distribute it, because the more cards that are printed, the cheaper it is for them to print those cards. If a printing press is running for 24 hours, every hour that it runs further is cheaper for Panini. So they're happy to pass those costs on to me because they're getting it cheaper.
That's interesting. So Panini's like a wholesale, like a.
They're a card company.
Okay.
So they are a big card company that has the NBA and WNBA, and they currently have WWE cards under their banner. So every WWE card moving forward for the next few years is under Panini's name.
So man, that might be something I have to look into. I'm definitely looking to invest in a couple things. So man, I gotta learn.
Let's actually dive into this too, because we're on business. So what is this like to even figure out entrepreneurship? Because it's taken me a very long time. I've been doing miniature entrepreneur, figuring out entrepreneur stuff. Obviously, I've been running my eBay business for about 4 or 5 years now, and I'm just starting to get good at it. So what is that like to say, cool, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be involved in business too, because I want to create my own businesses and have my own projects. And what is that like? Because it's stressful. Stressful.
Lately, my biggest problem is my pride issues when it comes to promotion, because the way I want to promote my things doesn't really work. Like I want to promote like for example, my Trap Daddy shirts. I'd like to promote it as like this inspirational, like we're gonna, use these shirts for funds for a nonprofit and all this stuff, and I want to give inspirational quotes. None of that shit works. Instead, I have to get like fat booty models to wear my t-shirts and post their ass up, or do something controversial in my shirt, or make it all about sex or violence, and you have to do that to catch the algorithm in order to promote it. And that's what's really getting me right now, is like the human psychology part of things. Like the things that I think that people will like, they don't like, and the things that I think they don't like, they do like. Like I find myself reading the comments of some social media posts of people, and I'm thinking like, oh man, they're gonna hate this guy for this post. I can't believe he even said this. What an idiot. And then I go and look at the post, and everybody's like, right on, dude, and everybody's like giving them positivity. And it just, I don't know if I'm not understanding human psychology yet, but that's a big issue of mine. Is sales and human psychology go hand in hand. That's something I'm trying to fucking figure out.
See, this is interesting, right? Because so I'm trying to figure out YouTube, right? And I've kind of given up a little bit, but I'm also having a good time with it, where I've come to the conclusion that I'm just throwing as much content out there. And I've said this a while, and I'm going to keep saying, is that what's going to dictate the future of media is complete, on demand. So whenever I want to watch them, I can watch it, right? I'm a big Law and Order SVU fan. I love Law and Order SVU. I love Law and Order Organized Crime. I'm really into Chicago PD. I don't watch those shows when they're live on television. Don't really care. I like watching it when it's like 11 o'clock at night and I can't sleep, and it's on my iPad. And so I can watch it whenever I want to watch it. Then I think the other thing that's going to dictate media, and I think this is going to dictate social media to some degree, is also big libraries of content. Because I think the more content you have, the easier it is for you to go viral or at least get views. Because if you have 10 videos, to get 100 videos, you only need that 10 views on each video. If you
Yeah.
have 2 videos, you only need 1 view on each video. If you have
Yeah.
1,000, you don't even need 1 view on each video, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that's how. So I've kind of learned. I haven't learned how the long format videos work on YouTube, but I pretty much got the shorts down. Like if I post something to the shorts, and if I want to make it go a little bit viral, by viral, like in my standards, at least like 4K views on my shorts or more. Sometimes 20K views if I'm like really trying really hard. But I feel like I got the shorts algorithm down. But when it comes to like long form content, I have no idea. I've posted music videos that have like over 250,000 views, and then music videos that have like 300. But on TikTok, I've noticed people are doing a cheat where they have like they'll make a million different profiles and they'll just post the same fucking videos on every profile, just spam the fucking algorithm in the app with their face over and over and over again. It just gets caught. And they'll be like, because I'll block the same creator like 12 times in a day, and each account will have like a million followers. I'm like, damn, they create that many profiles. But I think that's how they do it on TikTok.
So what I figured out is that long form content is hard on an interview. Doesn't do well for me. I mean, it does okay over time. I'm a strong believer that I'm going to be here for the next 30 years. So just want to build content. I want to build huge content, and I want to have the position in where I now have 5,000 interviews. It's like, holy fuck, this guy's got 5,000 interviews. Damn, you
Yeah.
know. And I mean, I almost have 800 now. And so all of a sudden, when I walk in, there's going to be a point because I believe in a concept called in a theory called critical mass theory, where you get to a point where you critically explode and then you're everywhere. And it could be 5 videos, it could be 5,000. And then the other thing that I've done that's been really a testament to my growth is cutting up content out of the interviews, 3 to 5 minute clips, because somebody
Yeah.
says, and then you target that. So with voice actors, it works beautifully. I'm a big Naruto guy, so I got to interview the voice actor of Rock Lee, Brian Donovan. So the question I asked him is, "How did you get the role of Rock Lee?" Boom, 3 minute clip. Thing does really well because it answers the question. And if you're a Rock Lee fan and you're a Naruto fan, you see that, and then YouTube's algorithm, and then I tag it specifically for that, and I run it through tag software that does it for me, and then it makes me 50 recommendations on tags, and there's some weird ones in there, but it says, hey, this is what's really popular on Twitter or X now, and this is what's popular on YouTube, and that software cost me $50 indefinitely. And
Yeah, I gotta work with that, man. I know there's some that make shorts too.
I mean, this isn't even so much just shorts. It's just giving you a tag component, right? So
Yeah.
my theory is that I'm just trying to catch the algorithm so I don't even touch shorts because what am I going to do? Take a 60-second clip on an interview? Like for me, shorts don't work on my YouTube channel unless I'm going to do a 45-second piece of an interview. And then I should might as well just do 3 minutes. Not saying that shorts for somebody else doesn't work, but even like TikTok sometimes, but I've done like 700, 800 TikTok plays when I used to do a lot of TikToks on that because, again, it's catching an algorithm and somebody just wants a 45-second clip of something. So, but rarely on TikTok, I'll do like 4,000 views on TikTok. Rarely,
Dude,
but
I blew up on TikTok and then I was deleted. But that was my fault. But TikTok is hard, man. You get deleted for nothing sometimes.
I mean, they don't like Disney. They don't like Disney on TikTok.
Really?
Oh my God. I put something up about Disney characters. This artist is influenced by Disney and a few other things. And oh my God, that thing got one play. One play. It got like
Dude,
shadow banned it. It was
that
terrible.
shit's so annoying, man. Yeah,
But
I'm
then
shadow banned on a lot of my stuff too on TikTok.
I wasn't even shadow banned. It was the video that was shadow banned.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can't even see this video. Where the fuck's this video, man? I'm like, dude, did you see it? And then like I show my screen, like, oh, dude, I'm not even seeing it on my TikTok. I'm like, what the fuck? And then it shows me on the screen. Completely just they just like blinked it out. It was crazy.
It's so annoying, man. Like, I don't know what happened where we're at this point where we have to constantly chase the algorithm to even reach the fans that we already fucking have. Like,
And
it's
then
so
and then it's crazy. I said,
stupid.
TikTok's the worst thing ever. It's a 10,000 views, Andrew. Go right ahead.
Yeah,
Disney
dude.
can't do it. Just no Disney.
Like, I was just talking about my on my story today how I post like an inspirational, like, if like I was homeless and shit. Now I'm like riding a boat on Las Vegas Lake with my kids, and I'm giving them the life that I always dreamed of and shit. That got like 300 views. I got 50,000, almost 50,000 followers on my Instagram, and a lot of people tell me that I bought my followers because of my engagement so low, which is crazy. And then, like a day after that post, I post a guy cracking his head on the concrete walking out on the Vegas Strip, and that got like 7,000 views. And then right after that, I post an inspirational thing, another 400 views. So it's like they're just like pushing trash nowadays, and it really sucks, man. Really sucks.
Again. I view my position and even my argument to people when I pitch sponsorships. I say, look, my shit stays up there indefinitely. You could buy something for a temporary position, and that's completely up to you. And everybody has a different strategy. But when I sell on my micro content some ads, I say this is my rate. It's not that expensive, and it stays up indefinitely. So you could buy a permanent ad for like $2.50. And yeah, maybe that thing's going to take a while to get, 1,000 views, but you got to remember that in 10 years from now, it's still going to be there.
And
So,
that's what makes content binge worthy. Like there's creators that I follow, and I'll go back and I'll watch like some of their first videos, and it'll get like 200 views. And I'll be like, dude, I can't believe this ain't got more. I'll sit there and watch the whole thing because like if you're into creators, man, sometimes like it's cool. It's a cool little treat to go back and see that they still have all their old stuff archived.
so,
It's
so,
rare
so
sometimes.
my theory is that I'm just building out a library. That's all I'm doing. And I have, I think, 800 interviews so far. And it's only I'm adding about 100 a year, 120 a year. And there's going to get a point where it's going to be at 2,000. There's going to be 3,000. I'm going to be like, holy shit, there's 5,000 YouTube videos on this guy's
And
channel.
yeah, and you know what could happen is one of those people, fingers crossed, could be something very important one day, and then it's just it's a part of history, man. And you're already obviously interviewing people who are already fucking important, so it's pretty cool, man. I don't have enough charisma, I would say, to be an interviewer, or enough persistence to be an interviewer. But I always respected those guys because it's a cool job, man. You get to meet a lot of people and talk to a lot of
It's
cool personalities. And
it's funny because, it's also the idea that, like, I mean, I'm taking shots on people too. I'm interviewing this young voice actress who's been in only a few roles, and she's not known, and I'm taking a shot on her, and it's going to be a fun one. And I'm a little bit nervous about it because it's rare, but then I'm interviewing somebody who is in a legal battle with Lady Death's creator right now, and so that person's right after her, and so it's going to be it's interesting. And then, but it's weird too
that
because
is interesting.
and so it's always fun when you start messing around and you figure out who's going on with whom and all that shit, who's going after each other, and it's fun. And then there's just some cool people that you get to meet. I mean, I love interviewing people, and then I also like the fact that I try to do business with some of these people.
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah, networking is always nice because it could lead to business.
So I find it fascinating, and it's just interesting who you interview, how it works. I mean, I got Tommy Bell because of the whole LLC thing of Shelby Paris of all people. Did you know
Oh
this
man.
story? It's a good story. So what happened is that I shot LSC a question because they threw something out on their Twitter, say, what we're going to be interviewing Sean for the LSC podcast. I said, cool. Like, how are you competing with all the streaming media going on between WWE on Peacock and AEW and NWO and all this stuff? And I thought it was a great question because obviously with streaming going on, I asked the question saying, like, how are you guys competing and adjusting to the changing market in wrestling, where it has moved now to very much a streaming platform, very much with D&D's too. And
whatever happened to Tubi? It
with
was on
what?
Tubi.
Tubi?
LFC was on Tubi for a while.
I thought they were also on. I thought they were on Pluto now.
I don't remember, but I do know I watched one of the ones that I referee or that I judged on Tubi. I think it was Booty Camp 2.
Was that with Allie Parker?
Yes.
I love Allie. I love Allie.
Man, she's a gangster. That was when I met I can't believe him.
Is it RJ?
The wrestler? No, the guy who was judging with me, he was another celebrity guest judge. He's a professional wrestler. I can't believe him. I forget. Austin Aries.
It's not Silvio, right?
Austin Aries.
Oh, Austin Aries. I love Austin Aries.
He was judging beside me. We were co-judging together, and the whole time we were like just cracking jokes and shit. And like, he's such a cool dude. And we went to the after party together. Austin Aries is such a dope dude, and it's weird because you always hear like he hates fans and all this stuff. Like I hear a lot of shoot interviews talking about how Austin Aries treats fans like trash. I straight up told him, I was like, dude, I'm a fucking mark. Like, we gotta get some shots after this, and he was all down. So I think he's cool as hell.
I enjoy Austin Aries. I thought Austin Aries did not get a fair shot in WWE.
Yeah. Isn't he the one that put his crotch in the girl's face?
The Christy Hemme situation, and then he left it because he's like, she's now my boss. And how can I get a fair opportunity here? And I don't think he was intending to put like
wrong era. You know what I mean? If he did that in the 90s.
No, but I mean, he was explaining. I forgot whose podcast he was on, but he was explaining it like it just happened, right? Like, shit happens in the ring, and then Christy Hemme is in the wrong place at the wrong time, and then all of a sudden, like, she gets promoted. I don't get fired. She's sort of my boss now. Like, what the fuck?
That's what happens in the ring. Like, they'll do shoot shit. And then they'll be like, "Oh, it was kayfabe afterwards." I've had that happen to me. Who's forgive me again for forgetting names, the biggest girl in the LFC, not by size, but like she's like tall. She fights MMA.
Is it shoot? It's not Lauren Fogel. It can't be Lauren Fogel.
No,
right?
No, it's not her. She's taller than her.
Melissa Coates?
No,
no.
I think she's Mexican.
Not Julian or Melissa either, right?
I don't know why I'm thinking like
Terry London.
No, man, I forget her name. But anyway, she doesn't like me. She's not a fan of mine, and we got some like backstage issues that has nothing to do with the LFC. And one day she went out and she cut a promo on me, and it was at LFC. It was at the one that was at the Nerd Bar, but she cut a promo on me, and then she threw her fucking jacket like directly, or no, she took her dress off because she was in thong and bikini and all that. And then when she threw it directly at my face. Like, dude, if it would have hit me, I slipped it. But if it would have hit me, it would have knocked my glasses off, made me look like a jackass. It would have hit hard, man. She was trying to hurt me. But she was like, she balled that bitch up and was like, ah, like chucked it at my head. And I was like, oh shit. Like, this bitch ain't playing, man.
I told Gia Scott up in Maryland to slap me. So I told Gia Scott, I said, you can go right ahead and just slap me, but tell me if you're gonna do it. Just tell me to wear a hat and like slap the hat off of me, and then make sure that what happens is that you get security to escort me out, and you play it off.
Yeah.
Because they said, I'll make you a superstar if you do that. Of course, what'll have to happen is that they'll have to like take me into the back so I can watch the rest of the show. But like it would have been brilliant because the
Yeah.
whole audience would have went ape shit. They'd been like, who the hell is this kid? And what the fucking I got escorted, and then she would have been the heel. Oh my god, it'd been great.
Man, I've been involved in a couple kayfabe things in the LFC, like the whole them using my glass to hit girls in the head, or me and Jenny Valentine going back and forth with each other, me disqualifying her and all that bullshit. But that was me and the other girl was the only time that things ever got like real. And then afterwards, like we were all taking pictures, and she came up to me. She was like, "Oh, it's just kayfabe." And I was just thinking, like, yeah, I'm fucking right. You try to take my head off with that shit, man. It's crazy because you're vulnerable there. You know what I mean? They could do whatever. They could throw a drink on me if they wanted to, and they could like, what am I supposed to do about it? You know?
See. I'm tempted in which that I live in Bethel, Connecticut. And Bethel, Connecticut's high school has a beautiful like track arena, right? And it's perfect for a wrestling venue. And I want to create a wrestling federation. I would love to. It'd be so much fun because the entrance. But what I would want to do is that shit like that, it would be rehearsed, but I want it to be real. And I want it to almost be like the way Andy Kaufman played it off with Jerry Lawler on David Letterman.
Yeah, I like that.
Because that looked real.
Yeah.
And that looked real. And I got to say, Jerry Lawler should have inducted Andy Kaufman. And I don't know what was going on with Lawler, but he should have been there to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's a little before my time, but I remember seeing that on like YouTube and shit.
Because Andy Kaufman was brilliant. Andy Kaufman was like, "Oh, I was just having good fun. Good fun."
Yeah, dude, that dude's a psycho, man. He just stayed in character. It's crazy.
You had David Letterman, and David Letterman's expression was great too. Oh, like the whole thing was just unbelievable.
I gotta watch that Jim Carrey movie about all of that.
I don't know this movie. What's this movie?
Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman, and they did a whole remake of the whole wrestling thing and all that, man.
That's great.
But I didn't see it. I just saw the previews. I was like, man, this looks good. I gotta check it out. I heard good things.
I love Jim Carrey was he's Dr. Eggman in Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
Yes.
Best role ever.
He was amazing. Yeah, he was incredible. When I saw that with my kids, I was like, fucking perfect, man.
I had the best Sonic the Hedgehog 30th anniversary party ever.
My daughter used to be the biggest fan of Sonic. She's 8 years old. She's a more of a Godzilla. Well, actually, more in the dragons now. She switches around a lot, but she loves comics and all that stuff. She likes have you ever heard of the Starfire Dragon series? It's like it's books.
I don't know this one.
I think they do comics too, but yeah, she's deep into all of that, man. So hopefully her hobby will make me some money one day.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bunch of hobbies that hopefully make me money. But so I had Lisa Ortiz on, who plays Amy Rose. So I've interviewed Amy Rose, who's Lisa Ortiz. I've interviewed Kalino Chaganowski, who plays Miles Tails. And on the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, I had an interview with Ian Flynn, who's been writing Sonic the Hedgehog for about 17, 18 years.
That's dope. Like the comic books?
Yeah, the comic books.
Man, that's cool. That's really
cool.
I did meet, the closest thing I got to something as cool as that is I met the voice of Lisa Simpson, or not Lisa, Bart Simpson. She did an interview at the same place I did an interview at, and we had a drink together before our interviews together. And I was like, man, I didn't know it was a female who did the voice.
It's funny, right? So this is gonna sound so sexist, right? So they're obviously, if you look at names, you can tell when it's a woman's name, a man's name. but there's names that you can't tell,
For
right?
now, yeah.
So Sun, right? If there's a name Sun Kumanaki, is it a woman or is it a man, or could it be either way, right?
Yeah.
I think it could be either way, right?
Yeah.
So Sun Kumanaki, she is a woman. I didn't know Sun was a woman until I started doing research, and it didn't change my interview. It was fine. It was
Right.
a great interview. The point is that I've been very surprised when there's no picture and then a woman shows up. I'm like, holy shit, you're a girl? Like, and it sounds so weird, right? But I don't treat anybody any different. I don't care, man, woman, whatever you want. But the point is that I'm like, oh, and like I've been where somebody showed up and I'm like, I thought you were a guy. You saw my face, like, you thought I was a guy getting out. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. She's like, no, I like this is cool too. This is cool
It
too.
reminds me of like the old school internet days when we would like talk to our crushes like over like AOL before we even knew what they looked like and shit, and then we find out what they look like, or you know what I
Please
mean?
don't remind me. I was exchanging intimate messages, and then he rang my doorbell, and I thought he was a she. And no, it never happened. Oh,
Dude,
it
you know
happened.
it's funny.
Friends.
People see me all the time in person, and I don't know why, they have this vision in their head that I'm like 6'5", and they're always surprised that I'm 5'11", and I'm like not that tall, and like I get it all the time. They're like, "Man, I thought he was a lot taller than this." Like, thanks a lot.
The best is when you walk into a store and I walk on crutches, and then I'm with either my mom or my dad because I can't carry. So I go into the Lego store, right? And I'm buying a $350 Lego set, right? And the guy thinks I'm like slow because I walk on crutches. And then within 3 seconds, I just start spewing out stuff about the car. Oh yeah, I called the other day. He's like, "Oh dude, yeah, I called. You're buying a $350 Lego set." I'm like, "Yeah, this thing has this," and I just start naming specs on the website. I'm like, "I am super excited to build this thing." And I was like, "Oh my god, I am never gonna judge another person again." And they're like, "Oh." And then I started talking, just like, but like, I didn't even make him feel bad because I immediately started saying, like, yeah, I'm also building this like a mosaic thing over here, and I'm working on this thing over here, and then I like showed like on my phone things for
I
that.
can kind of relate to this. You know how I can kind of relate to this as a fat guy who goes to the gym, and like, even though I'm a fat guy, I'm in better shape than most normal people because I've been going to the gym consistently. But like, I swear to God, like at least 5 times a year, I get like sometimes like kids or something, or just regular people come up to me and just like pat me on the shoulder, be like, all it's just about showing up, brother. Just keep coming. You got this. Like it was like my first day in the gym or something like that. It's so fucking embarrassing, man.
So I had a mentor who helped me get my job and helped to train me for a certification, and he's blind. And what he was explaining is that sometimes people will ask, and he says, I don't have to be kind at all to anybody. But if they have a positive interaction with somebody who's blind and it's their first one, chances are they're going to approach it and continue to approach it in a nice way. Say, hey, do you want me to get you when we're going to leave for the bus? I know that you're blind. I'm happy to go get you and knock on your door to this. And the guy was named Steve. He's like, oh yeah, I'd appreciate that. And the bus driver was very nice. And I don't think this was the first time this bus driver had an interaction with somebody who was blind, right? But I also think that if it was, and then Steve took off his head, and Steve technically has the right to do it, I think, to some degree, right or wrong, but you have somewhat the right to do it. Then that guy might have never ever asked or might not have gone out of his way. And so that's how I view my issue is that I have to be positive because what happens if it's the first time somebody's dealing with somebody who's ever had a physical disability?
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. I know we live in America and that should not be the case. But what if it is somebody's first time?
Yeah, no, you got a point. Just like my wife has a disability and her condition, her stomach protrudes a little bit. So, unfortunately, a lot of people will congratulate her on a pregnancy that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And that's you got to learn how to deal with that too. So, and it's just it's. I feel like in other countries this isn't such a big deal because they're not so sensitive. But over here, everybody's
It
so goddamn
depends.
sensitive.
It depends. It depends. There are countries where they view disabilities as a curse. I'm not even
Yeah,
joking. This exists. It's insane. It's
yeah. It doesn't
insane.
surprise me.
And then there's like a thought process. There's some weird shit out there. But like you go to London and you have a disability, nobody gives a fuck. Like
As a curse, that's almost, I don't know why it makes me, it's almost like a child's way of thinking, because when I was a kid I
I think
used to
it's
think dumb shit
hilarious.
like that. Like I used to think like if somebody was like injured or said like damn they must have done something fucked up in like a past life or something, like it's such a
So
childish way of thinking.
it is, but it's funny if you have a dark sense of humor. Like I have a messed
Yeah,
up, dark sense of humor. I really
yeah,
do. But all my friends do as well, and we think it's funny. Now, it's not funny that exists. It's funny,
yeah.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous,
Just
right?
like in, go ahead.
Oh no! I was done.
I was gonna say in Japan, I was hearing how like cringe doesn't even like really exist in Japan, and I find that super interesting, and I find that kind of cool too because you can have fun over there without people being like, "Oh, what the fuck is that guy doing dressed up as Harry Potter walking down the street?" You
Dressed
know
up
what I
as
mean?
Harry
Like,
Potter with his friend Godzilla, and then they're
yeah,
riding a Nimbus cloud, which
dude,
is
that
really
sounds like my daughter's dream come true right there. My daughter walks around dressed in like dragon costumes and shit. She's all in the cosplay and all that crazy shit. So she would
I,
love Japan.
I've never been to Japan. I would love to go to Tokyo. I think it'd
Me
be such
neither.
a fun time. I think it'd be
I
such.
haven't been outside the country. My coach is from Guatemala. He's been bitching at me and bitching at me to get my passport. He travels outside of the country like every other week, and I haven't got my passport yet. I can afford to. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but it's a process and it's annoying.
It's not
So
even that. I love America. I don't want to leave America.
yeah,
I mean,
I feel like I've done everything here though. Like especially in Las
I'm the
Vegas.
opposite. I'm
Have
the
you been
opposite.
to Vegas yet?
I have not.
Oh man, you gotta come over here, man. I feel like being in Vegas, I'm almost like spoiled. Like I try to travel to like other places, and like nothing really gets me
So,
because everything's cool here in Vegas. But
ye-
Miami is amazing. I will say that.
I'm the opposite. My game plan is legitimately to buy a farm in Oklahoma. That is my game plan. Make a lot of money, spend time in Connecticut or New York, and then spend half my time in Oklahoma farming the land to make beer. That's
Oh yeah,
exactly what I want to do.
like a ranch style life.
Yeah, oh no! I just want to escape half the time. I want to get
Yeah,
to the point where I have so much money that like I could just be out in the wilderness and just like stare up. And I'm not even from the country, but I just don't want to be around people. People are
dude, I
different.
feel that. I feel
and
that.
and I want to like just like grow wheat and I just want to make beer, right? Because I like beer and I think it'll be fun. And once you have enough money and you have a lot of money, you have like millions and millions of dollars, which hopefully I'll get. All of a sudden, you can now have a lot of fun. You have a $5 million farm making beer, and you don't need to
Yeah,
worry about making money. That's great. That's great. You can have
that's
fun.
fuck you money right there.
Or maybe I'll get like a dairy farm for because I think it'd be fun to have a bunch of cows and not kill them. I think it'd be
Yeah.
great to get some dairy. That'll be great. It'll be fun. And then you take care of your cows and you grow your wheat and then you make your beer and then you just don't mix it with the milk because milk and beer don't go well together. Oh, I know. If there's any advice today, everybody, milk and beer do not
Milk
go
and beer. It's like Sprite and bananas.
well. There's a reason why you don't have ice cream after you have a beer.
See, I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Let's just say that if you get lucky, you're fine. If you don't get lucky, it's coming back up.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Thank God I just stopped drinking. So I'll probably drink every now and then, but For now, I got to get down to 300 pounds.
I should probably join you in that quest, but I do like my Jack Daniels.
I was a Four Loko guy. I was drinking like 2 Four Lokos a day, which is insane. There's 4 servings, and there's 300 calories per serving in a Four Loko, and I was drinking 2 of those a day.
Damn. So is that alcohol too?
Oh yeah, it's like extreme alcohol. Like, so most people drink like a half a Loco, and they're like completely fucked up. But I was drinking 2 of those a day, and I was fine. It was pretty bad.
I mean, I like a Red's Wicked Ale, which is 8% beer. It's like a 20.
Is that an apple ale?
Yeah, it's just.
I drank one of those before.
I like
the only beer I can drink.
I mean, really, I'm an IPA guy too. I drink a beer that sounds a little girly at first until you taste it and it's great. It's called Ninjas vs. Unicorns.
That's funny. I forget what I drank. I think I drank a Coors. It's a gold can. Yeah, I think it's a Coors with Stone Cold Steve Austin after we did our video shoot. Because he didn't have any Bush or anything around, so we drank a Coors. But that was disgusting.
Okay, so in a bar, right? I used to live in New York, and there was a local bar, like the Town's Bar, fun place to go, right? It's kind of so you either get a Bud Light, you get a Corona, you get a Coors, right? It's a $3 beer, but you're not drinking it. It's an average beer. It goes down nicely, no problem. I like Coors. I like Bud Light to some degree as well, but right now I'm really into Coronas because it's summer out.
Yeah.
But like the point is that I'd be drinking that because I'm not gonna get really fucked up. I can still be social, but I'm buzzed enough. And that's the point, because I learned the hard way that you can't really close if you're intoxicated.
Man, I wish I could get that intoxicated, but I feel like I don't know if I'm a big guy or what, but I've tried the nose candy, I've tried mushrooms, I've tried it's just about everything other than like crack and heroin, and nothing really gets me other than a little bit of weed in a cart, and some alcohol. But alcohol
it's weird.
Takes a lot.
What gets me, it's like I'm so fucked up, right? And I was speaking to this girl, and she said I'm a cash king. That's what she said. She said I'm a findom, and you're a cash king. That's really, really hard. And I don't know if I'm saying this, and it's going to sound so weird. Whenever I make a really, really good deal and I sell like $900 worth of comp for the same person, dude, you got this? What could you want this? I want one of those. I want one of these. And I'm like, oh my God. And and she said, you're a cash king. That's exactly what you are. And
that's a good fucking nickname to have.
And apparently that's the equivalent of a male financial dom. Is called a cash king. I did not know that. And she's like, that's what it is. And I'm like, that's wonderful. Just she's like,
I like that. I like that
and I'm like, but I'm really shitty at doming people. And that was that
right. Like I'd be the worst. I'm too nice.
It's like I spank you. Did I hurt you? I'm so sorry. It's like, no, put harder. Like they're like, is that better? Like
yeah.
It's just terrible.
A passive aggressive dominatrix.
I am not dom materials, but we learned that day. It's like, no, do it harder. Stop fucking asking the question.
Yeah, dude, same here. Like I had to do a movie where I had to like really be like mean and aggressive to a woman. And it was kind of hard, like, because I'm like every time we cut, I'd be like, "Are you okay?" You know, like I had to like grab her by the throat and shit.
No. It's like I could be aggressive, and I have been, but like it's weird. Like it's just like so not in my zone. It's
yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not a mean guy. These girls can be mean as hell. I wish I had the heart that they had. I'd make a lot more money, but
I mean, I'll put it this way: I can be a monster, but I also believe that. See, I used to shoot warning shots. I don't shoot any warning shots anymore, and the reason why is that it's actually because what I found is that the people that scare me the most, and I'm curious how you feel about this, is not the ones who are the loudest. The ones who
yeah,
are the loudest, I know what they're going to do exactly. I know exactly what they're going to do, and I know how they're going to do it, right? The ones who are the quietest, they terrify me. They
yeah,
terrify me, and so I become quiet because nobody knows what I'm going to do in a situation. And I might do nothing or I might do something, but because I used to give warning shots. If you do this, I'm going to do that. Instead, I said, you don't know what I'm going to do next.
I used to do the same thing, and it kind of backfired on me, man. Before I had money, I used to I used to do that, and it got to the point where like me and this guy were just like escalating every week. We just like kept doing like worse and worse things to each other. We're eventually got to the point where like we're fucking like destroying each other's vehicles. Like we're showing up at midnight and fucking taking crowbars and busting out every window in the car and popping the tires. We both did this to each other. And like it just got to the point where it was like, okay, let's just stop. This is stupid. You know, we're even.
See, I have enemies who may take shots at me, and I don't respond
Yeah,
because when I do decide to do something, if I decide at all, and they might be watching, it might not be. That's not the point here. It will be addressed. But because I haven't decided if I want to even engage, there you go. And so
yeah,
there's no more warning shots because I don't believe that warning shots make any sense.
yeah.
Because why
Especially
are
if
you,
it's not if they're not hurting your pockets or your family or anything like that, then why even bother? You know?
you know what it is? It's also timing is everything. I like to I have a theory in which I'm a big I think Aristotle said that justice should be swift. So if you want to deal with a problem and you want justice, whatever that means to you, it should be swift. Therefore, on a theory level, that if I cannot make justice swift, I should not engage.
Yeah,
And so I would rather, when I'm ready to engage in and dishing out swift justice, according to me, that's my theory.
yeah.
And
Nice and
so
clean.
because if it's clean and then it's over and then it's done, chances are maybe one of us can move on, maybe both of us can
Right.
move on. But that's how I feel. But get back to the whole thing about the LSC is that so getting back to Tommy Bell and how we got on this big tangent. So I get a free shirt from LFC, and then I'm interviewing Shelby Paris, and somebody cut up the clip of that basically with all Tommy's products in there and led off Tommy's reel. And then Tommy's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry I didn't give you credit." I'm like, "Dude, relax. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm not that much of a dick. Like, you don't have to worry about it." A bunch of people just saw a clip of mine that got like 1,500 views. Like, I don't really care that nobody asked my permission. You don't really
Yeah,
need
that's
permission
the
for.
world we live in nowadays. You know, clips get caught up. There's so many clips about me out there too, and fake profiles still to this day. Even after the Dr. Phil show, and that's literally what the Dr. Phil show was supposed to be about, was fake profiles. I still have people making fake profiles of me and people believing that they're real and shit. It's ridiculous. And I'm not even like famous. So I can only imagine if I was like famous, how bad it would be.
Oh, it's terrible. It's interesting though because that's what's so interesting is that I'm not famous and I get hate. I'm like, great.
Right.
I'm like, great. You don't know me. We've never met in person. Like, dude, go get laid. Like,
Isn't it weird how like you try to understand some of these guys and you like you even like I'll sit down and I'll ask them like why they hate me and all this stuff and they literally don't at the end of the day they don't have a real answer. It's weird.
so have you ever had somebody dunk on you for 45 minutes straight, make falsehoods all on video. Legitly, you could debunk all the falsehoods, make ridiculous claims about your family, and then you're like, oh, how do I even respond to this? And everybody saw it in comics, and everybody was like, dude, what the fuck? And nobody brought it up to me. I saw it too, and nobody was like, if you're not bringing it up, we're not going to bring it up. And my
Right.
response to this whole thing is that if you are sexually attracted to me, I'm sorry, I'm straight. Because that is legitimately the only explanation I have. And that's not to be derogatory to anybody else. I don't have any other explanation why 3 or 4 guys on a Saturday who are all over 50 would dunk on a 30-year-old who disagreed with them and left their show and didn't say any bad word about them.
Yeah, it is weird, man.
It's a little chicken hawking, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, not to be too offensive on that, and I know that's a little bit of an offensive word, but that's what it looks like.
No, I get it, man. Like the it's almost like the low-cal community. Like I was dipping
Creeps
out.
me. It creeps me out because it's extremely predatorial.
Yeah.
That behavior. And that's the behavior. And the reason why it creeps me out is that that's what escalates to the next level. Because now you're engaging, and that's what I said. I guess I'm a superstar now, because that must happen when you reach a certain level. Meanwhile, I have like 400 Instagram followers. I have like 5 people on TikTok following me. Like I have 653 subscribers on YouTube. Like, and I'm like, if that's what it means to be a superstar, the bar is the
Man, I've had people. I had to move once because a guy leaked my address and then showed up at my house. Well, my apartment. I was living in like a weekly, and he showed up at my apartment, like trying to fight me and weird shit. Like I had to like call the cops. It was weird. So yeah, people are crazy, dude. The internet's wild.
Crazy. Oh, without a doubt, people are insane. Like that's why it creeps me out. Is that if you're willing to do that on a live stream, what else are you willing to do? And
Right.
that's what's terrifying. I don't know how you feel about being, someone in the public, but this is a very public forum that I'm in.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a double-edged sword, that's for sure.
I understand that my protections are not the same as, like, I was having this conversation. So I have a sister, and what I was saying is that there's me, and then I'm the only one who doesn't have kids yet. But so basically, my first cousins have kids, and then my sister has a kid. And I was explaining is that, like, to my mom, that those 3 individuals have different protections than I do as a public figure. And so when I have children, the last thing I ever want to do is let anybody know I have kids. And more importantly, not post my kids on any of my social media platforms that are business related.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that is rough, man. They'll go after your kids. Oh. These people are dark. If they see something that's sensitive about you, they'll poke at it. You know what I mean? The darkest, worst thing.
That is true. And so what I was explaining to my mom is saying that I don't have the same protections and legal protections that everybody else who has a kid in sort of the direct family has.
Right. Like it's legal to slander you as a public figure, correct?
Oh, what would you say?
I think I'm pretty sure like it's legal to slander a public
No.
What
it is that, so if I say you're a fat piece of shit,
right,
you can't sue me for that. Or if I say you but if I'm not gonna go say it, but if I say something that is clearly defaming you, right? If I say you're a horrible fighter and that your last fight made KFC look like a good commercial food restaurant and something crazy like that, right? That was hurtful. Right. And then your sponsor's KFC, you couldn't sue me for that, right? Because I didn't defame you because you're a public figure, so you're expected to be criticize.
Okay, that's what it is. I was
Now,
gonna say because I tried to sue these guys a couple times, and
if
they were
I say something like this, that Trap, is stealing from LFC, and that he embezzled $50 million from that company, screwed shareholders. Now we're getting into something where that you
yeah,
might be able, because that's
that
defamation.
makes sense. That makes
So,
sense.
so if you say Andrew is a jackass, or Andrew is a copycat grifter podcaster, I can't
Right.
sue you for that. But if you say Andrew stole $50 million from the company he works at, and then my
Yeah,
company fires me, that now we're getting somewhere where,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
because that protection you've gone beyond. You've
See, that's what I'm okay with. I'm okay with the criticism and stuff like that. Like you'll see on forums where, of course they say I suck as a fighter, I'm fat and all that stuff. That's okay. That comes with the territory. But what I don't like is when they make up things and they say that I'm doing something that I'm not, or everybody's quick to call people a pedophile nowadays and make up
that
shit.
that that that's something that's an issue, right? Let's say a newspaper
Especially
wrote an article.
nowadays.
Let's say that a newspaper, so obviously, let's say a newspaper was run by somebody who doesn't like me, right? They said Andrew's a pedophile, right? And they wrote an article, and there's no proof of that. Clearly, that's never been documented. That's that you now we're getting to a position where you can sue somebody if you have
Yeah.
real damages. So if I was a school teacher, I'm running this podcast and I was called that, and then I lost my job as a school teacher in a newspaper did it, and there's no evidence, and that was an opinion, but they stated, and then I lost my job. Even though I'm a public figure, you have defamed me.
Yeah.
You've hurt
And
my
it's fucked
reputation.
up because even if you sued and won, that article's still out there, and then people still, it's a witch hunt sometimes we live in, especially on the internet.
But you couldn't take back the article, but money is the next best alternative.
Right, right.
So it's the idea that if you're in a car crash, right, and that your leg now hurts indefinitely, right, or you lost your pinky toe, you can't get back your pinky toe, but maybe you can get $1 million.
You might not miss it so much.
Or it's the idea that you get, so money is the next best alternative.
I'll buy another fucking pinky toe.
Exactly. So, but you understand. I mean, the legal system does its best. I
Yeah.
think it's a fair assessment to say that you can't. It's kind of like if somebody was wrongfully killed, you can't bring them back to life. I'm sorry, we don't have that technology yet, and I don't think we ever will. But somebody's life is worth something on a monetary level.
Right, compensation, yeah, for
So you
sure.
give somebody compensation in the next alternative. Not to get morbid, but on a more positive note, Bella Rockefeller made me a very interesting offer.
Oh yeah? What's that?
She said I could be her man pup at one of the LSC events.
Oh man, dude, I would take that offer any day.
And she's like, I'll give you a 15-minute Dom session afterwards. And I'm like, oh my God.
Dude, even after she had a kid, I feel like she has the best torso. I know it sounds weird to say, but she has the hottest torso in the LFC. And I feel like she knows it too, because she comes out with that fucking corset, takes the corset off. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she knows what she's doing, but something about those abs, man. Something
Yeah,
about
she's
that
a
waist.
lot of fun. She was a lot of fun on that interview.
Yeah, I think she's in Vegas now. I think she's staying in Vegas now, if I'm not mistaken.
She is not an American citizen. She actually might be an American citizen, but I don't think she was born in
Oh,
America.
she's not yet? Okay. She needs to get over here, that's for sure.
No, no,
I
no,
love
no,
the
no,
accent.
no. She was born in South Africa.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So that's how we started that interview. I have to ask, what's the story of you being born in South Africa? That was how that interview started. I said, so me and Tiny Bill were having a discussion about this, and that's how that interview started. It was great. It was
Yeah.
absolutely great because I thought it was a funny way to start an interview.
Yeah.
She might have offered to mud wrestle me. It could have been fun too.
She's a character for sure, man. She needs to be on like a movie or something like that.
She's like Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, especially with that voice, man.
I mean, you know Shotzi, right?
No, no, no,
I mean, you know who Shotzi Blackheart is, though, right?
no, no.
Oh my God! So Shotzi Blackheart is in WWE right now, but I saw her like 20 times on the Indies.
Oh, she's a pro wrestler.
She's a pro wrestler, and she's got all these tattoos, and like she's hot, and she's on all these like horror movies topless. It's great.
Damn, now I gotta look into that.
But my thing about Shotzi is that I saw Shotzi on the Indies like 20 times, and I saw all these wrestlers on the Indies. So like the Indies are the shit in wrestling right now.
Have you ever seen Big Valley Pro Wrestling? I think they're out here in Vegas, but I think they travel around as well.
I don't know if I've seen that.
That's
I don't
really
know.
the only one I've been to. Uh, Other than, well, I did go to OVW way back in the day. Way back in the day, my cousin used to referee for them because I'm from Ohio. So
I mean, I love Ohio. Ohio's a fun place.
yeah,
Ohio,
they're wrestling fans there for sure, man.
Ohio's a weird place. Apparently,
It is.
Ohio is big on like dominatrix.
Yeah,
Like a lot of them are from Ohio. It's kind of crazy.
it is weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Kelly
a
Martinez.
wrestling state too. Like, there's a lot of really good like actual wrestling.
Yes, yeah. It's wrestling and like dominatrix is what Ohio's known for, and a losing football team. Well, three of those things.
Yeah.
And, but the Guardians are okay.
Oh man, is that the fucking Indians now? Like, that's the old
Oh
Indians,
no,
right?
but we're a very fucking progressive show here. Please do not.
Man, that's crazy. It's as a kid growing up as Indians now Guardians fan.
You know,
It
you
is
know,
kind of strange to call them the Guardians. I'm not gonna lie.
do you know how bad it is? Is that they can't? They have to get Tom Hanks to convince people of the name change.
Yeah, well, you know, it is kind of fucked up though. Like when you really think, like when I was a kid, I wasn't thinking about it too much, but nowadays, I guess it is kind of a little bit fucked up. Like the Redskins and the Chief Wahoo is
I'm
a
sorry. I'm
little.
sorry though. Okay, we could change the Redskins names, but to the Commanders, like what the fuck? Like, of all the names, I get it. I get that you needed to change the name. I get it. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that decision. The Commanders? Really? You couldn't think of a better name? Like, I got an idea. The executive orders.
The Power Rangers.
There could have been, there could have been, the I like the Washington football team. I thought that was fun. With a
Yeah,
nice view. I thought that was cool, right? I mean, they could have been the Generals for all I care. That would have been fun. The Generals.
that's actually the football team where I'm from. Is my city's called the Worcester Generals.
Okay, where I see, but the Commanders. What's a commander? I don't know what the fuck a commander is. Great. What are we commanding here? We're commanding a football field. Like what the fuck?
That's pretty funny.
I'm sorry. I lived in DC for 4.5 years. I get it. We got what, the Capitals as the hockey team. I think is
I know Ohio has the football Hall of Fame. Football is big over in Ohio too, but they're, you know, the Browns suck, the Bengals suck.
So
Ohio State's good.
Are the Reds technically in Ohio?
I'm not sure, to be honest. You know, I've never been a big
where's
sports guy. I've always been
Cincinnati?
MMA.
Where's Cincinnati?
In Ohio.
So
Cincinnati
the
Reds, yeah, it's in Ohio.
because I thought the Reds were pretty good. I thought the Reds were pretty good.
See, I don't know. I'm not a sports guy, to be honest.
I thought the Reds had
Well, my brother.
They have
My
LED.
brother's a big Bengals fan, but he's a criminal, so that makes sense.
Funny. Yeah, so maybe I will take a Bella Rockefeller on that one from memory.
Dude, I definitely would.
I have no problem. I just really couldn't tell. People, oh, Andrew, how's your weekend? It was just boring, guys. It was just boring. Nothing happened this weekend. How was your weekend? I don't want to talk about it. Nothing happened. Everything was fine. I was in my bed reading a book.
Yeah, the crazier life gets, the harder it is to relate to like fucking Uber conversations. You know what I mean?
I did nothing wrong this weekend. Leave me alone.
Yeah, like when I'm in an Uber car and they ask me like, "Hey, so what do you do?" You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what to even say.
My favorite one is I killed somebody an hour ago. What about you?
Yeah.
And the Uber driver, sometimes the Uber driver knows how to respond to that. Like, dude,
I had the weirdest Uber experience the other day. I had to like make a report on this guy. So I'm riding in the car and he's like, "So how did you get the name Trap Daddy?" Because that's what I got on my fucking Uber thing. And I was like, "Well, you know, it's literally just short for Travis. It's not like trap like a rap trap or anything like that. It's short for Travis, and it's like I'm an influencer and all that stuff." And I started telling him what I was doing, and he was like, "Oh yeah, well, I always wanted to punch an influencer in the face." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "You think I could try to punch you in the face?" And I was like, "What?" Like he's driving, right? And I was like, "I guess if we're sparring or something like that." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'd love to spar." And then he starts taking off his glasses and talking tough about some guy in a bar, and he starts like saying the N word, like he's like, "And I'm talking to this N word the other day in the bar, and he thinks he's tough." And I'm like, "What the fuck is going on right now? Like this is a real person." And like I get out, and dude, I had to make a report right away. I was like, "This guy was like racist and talking about punching me in the face." Like I don't even know what the fuck just happened. Uber is a crazy experience in Las Vegas sometimes.
I've had some good Uber experiences. I've had some really bad ones. My
Yeah.
favorite one was I had an Uber driver who spent 3 years in prison. So it was an awesome Uber experience. So he's just talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, you know, I was doing weed, and I'm like, dude, well, what's up with your tattoos? Because I like the ink." Oh yeah, man, I got all this in prison. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know. And he's like, "Yeah, I was in there, I got busted for some weed and distributing weed." I'm like, "Oh no, that's interesting." And I'm like, and then we were just talking about stuff, and it was like 30 minutes in it, and it was such a fascinating conversation. Because he was like Chinese, and he had like all this dragon tattoo stuff. Did not expect him to saying, "I got this stuff in prison, did 3 years out of up in New Hampshire," and then I was driving because my family's from DC and I was adopted, and I'm with them, and I was like, "Oh man, this is interesting." So
Yeah,
really,
sometimes you get those interesting stories, right?
I was like, "Okay, we're in a really really interesting position now." So okay, this is not what I was expecting.
What a weird world that we live in, that we can just randomly like get on an app and get in some stranger's car and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, what a cool fucking podcast that would be. 30 minutes in an Uber car.
That does sound like a good idea. Uber podcast. Just turn your Uber ride into a podcast. Just like have people sign it right before they get in or some shit. I don't know. I don't know
Oh
how
my
that would
god,
work. That'd be good.
what a crazy cool concept that would be, right? So you order your Uber, you talk, "Hey, I got this girl, we're going 30 miles out. She seems cute. We're just gonna talk about life for the next 30 minutes."
Right. Reminds me of Taxi Cab Confessions. You remember that back in the day?
I don't.
Oh man, you gotta check that out. This is like maybe 90s HBO, but it was big back in the day, Taxi Cab Confessions. But sometimes they get people like literally starting to fuck in the back of the cab and shit like that. So it would turn into some weird shit sometimes.
I don't
I can
remember
only
that.
imagine the stories that an Uber driver would have. And my wife is an Uber driver, and she's seen some crazy shit sometimes.
I've never. I mean, obviously there's Uber horror stories. There's Uber other shit that's happened. But yeah, no. I've always had a good time in Uber. So
I take excuse me. I take Uber literally like every day. So for me to have a bad experience is pretty often, to be honest, especially here in Vegas. But the other day I got picked up by a Tesla X, dude. It made me want one, which is pretty fucking cool. The ones that have the doors that go up like this, like not suicide doors, but they go like out, I guess, like a DeLorean. That was dope. So I want a fucking Tesla X now.
my friend has a Tesla. It is a cool car. Um, I am not an electric guy. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I like gas.
I have a Toyota Versa. Versa, I think it's called. 2009 or no 2013 Toyota Versa. It's not a bad car, but it it's one of those. It's like it's gonna last forever. It's not fancy, but it's not a piece of shit.
I was tempted to take my house fund and buy the last models of the Dodge Challengers and gas.
Yeah,
Souped up everything, like 817 horsepower. And the reason why is that you take care of that car. I got a feeling I'd be able to make a lot of money in that car in 2 years.
yeah, that's a strong fucking car too, man. Like,
817 horsepower, man.
yeah.
That,
I
that,
had a
that,
Dodge van, and that motherfucker was strong. I think Dodge just makes strong shit. It actually got shot here in Las Vegas. We were driving. We were caught in a drive-by that wasn't even had nothing to do with us. We were driving down the road, and the fucking van got shot, and the bullet got lodged in the door frame, and we had to like call forensics and have forensics come and get it. It was literally right above my kid's head too. It was the scariest shit ever, man. It's
damn.
crazy. Yeah, I got and I got a clip of it on my Instagram. It made the news and everything. The fucking bullet was lodged in the door frame.
That is
Wild.
crazy.
Yeah, I'll never take that street again in Vegas. I'll tell you that much. We tried to take a shortcut instead of the strip. We'll take the strip from now on.
I've never been involved in anything like that. I've never been involved in shit like that. What I have been is that my neighbors a husband and wife got into a fight and the police had to bust down the door. And I saw the police. I was getting something from downstairs, my alcohol. I saw the police. I saw them and said, "Guys, can I just go to my room really quickly before you do anything?" Like, yeah, just go right ahead, sir. I said, "I have my bottle of alcohol. Can I just like go back to my house, please, before you guys do anything? Can I just like
Right.
start?" Because
Dude, I've seen so many crazy things here in Vegas. I've been here for like 7 years. I feel like 7 years in Vegas is like 70 years anywhere else because so much crazy things happen. I feel like that was pretty crazy getting shot at, but it wasn't at me, so that wasn't too crazy. The craziest thing that happened is kind of why I was kicked off of TikTok. Um, so we were living in this weekly, which was a really bad apartment complex area. It literally looked like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like when you go to the hood, that's what it looked like. And I heard like four pops, and it sounded like light pops. So I thought it was like a firecracker or something. And I opened my door, and there's two dead bodies with their brains hanging out right in front of my fucking house, like right outside of my door, like dead. And then girls screaming over top of them, and I'm just standing there in shock, like holy shit. So I yelled at my kids to get down, and my daughter and my wife to get down, because the pops like just happened, like it was obviously like a gunfight right in front of my door, like literally right in front of my door, because it was those apartments where it's like almost like a motel where all the doors are like on the, you open the door and it's your living room. You know what I mean? It's like the ghettoest shit ever. So we was like right there. It could have went right through a window or anything. But I filmed it a little bit and put it on TikTok. Not the brains or anything, but like it was like I had like their foot on it. Like I showed a part of their foot. I was like, I can't believe there's dead bodies in front of my fucking door right now. Like this is the craziest shit ever. And then there was like blood stains and shit out there. And then the next day, kids outside just playing right where the guy was shot, and the blood's still there and everything, and life just moved on in the fucking hood. And I was like, that is insane. We do not belong here. We need to get the hell out of here. Thankfully, now I live in a luxury condo in a gated community that's miles away from that place, and that was probably one of the scariest things I've ever faced here in Las Vegas.
I don't have this crazy shit. The craziest shit that ever happened to me is somebody at 2 in the morning started throwing up my door in my apartment building, and that scared the shit out of me. And I got
What
up.
happened?
So I was in an apartment building where you need an access key to get in. So now what happens is that I'm asleep and I hear somebody trying to open up my fucking door. So two things go through your head, right? First off, who the fuck?
That's what's going through my head.
I don't have a gun, but what do? I grab like a kitchen knife, right?
Yeah.
I grab the weapon, and now I know where my shit is. So I get out. I say, who the fuck's there? I have a fucking gun, and I have a knife, and get the fuck out. Because what was going through my head is that you need an access key to get in. It's 2 in the morning.
Yeah, obviously nothing good is coming from that. Yeah.
So how did this person get in?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on? Why are they on this floor, the third floor? And
yeah, that's scary.
And then what did I do? I then basically, I don't know if it might have been my neighbor, and she was slowly getting dementia, and she might have somehow woke up in the middle of the night and tried to get into her apartment, right? And I'm so thankful I locked my door.
Right. Did you ever find out who it was?
I didn't even.
Damn, really?
I didn't even care. I don't want to know who it was.
That's scary, dude. Yeah, fuck that. I'm kind of glad that nobody's. I don't think anybody's ever going to try to break into this condo, but I have heard that it's happened in this area before. But we do live in Spring Valley, which is like a nice suburb of Las Vegas. So I don't know. Hope for the best. It'd be a good place for a zombie breakout. That's for sure.
It scared the shit out of me.
It would scare me too, man.
Wasn't
and
it?
I'm an MMA fighter. I got guns and shit, and that's scary to me. Like people breaking into your house, no matter what.
It was scary because you have to get through 2 doors, a lobby, an elevator pass key, and then
so you got one of those apartments.
So you got to buzz yourself in or swipe
Sounds
yourself
like a city apartment.
I mean, I was in Washington.
You live in the Aston Martin building?
No. I was in Washington D.C. and so it wasn't fancy. It was just like it was really cool. Where it was the idea that you buzz yourself in, and then
if you're from Ohio, that's fancy.
Yeah, but like you get why you'd be freaked out, right?
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure.
These are like, if this is somebody who just came in and wants to break into my apartment, like you need to really break into somebody's apartment to get here.
Yeah.
And then why'd you pick mine?
Right.
Or was it that you stole somebody's key, you knew where their address was, and you were just trying everybody's position on a particular floor for the fucking hell of it?
Yeah. See, if that was me, that would fuck with my head until I found out.
I mean, I called the police.
Yeah.
And they didn't find anything, but I said, I'm freaked the fuck out, guys. And they
That's
brought like
crazy.
2 officers, and I was like, I'm freaked the fuck out. And they understood.
Yeah, it reminds me of like TikToks I see of like people like they'll go home from vacation and shit and see squatters in their house and like, man, yeah, that's crazy.
If a squatter was in my house, what I would do is I'd get all my friends together, we'd get some baseball bats and beat the shit out of them until they left.
Right, man.
That's how you get rid of squatters. That's
Yeah,
exactly how you get rid of squatters,
yeah,
right?
because they got those weird laws and shit now, which is insane.
The way you get rid of squatters, there's only one way how to get rid of squatters. And it's a violent way. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
say it.
yeah. No, I've heard about it. I've heard nightmare stories because I want to get into real estate eventually because that's like the easiest thing to start off as like an entrepreneur. So that's probably one of the first things I'm going to do is get into real estate, and that's one of the things that freaks me out is like squatters, especially if you do real estate in like the hood. You got to worry about that a lot more.
Yeah, see, so let's actually talk about this because I'm curious. So my business model, and I'll tell you what I'm interested in is obviously I want to make money off of my podcast and my content, whether that's YouTube ad revenue, direct sponsorships, business to business, whatever that looks like on that front. And then on top of that, and then obviously I have an eBay business that pays me a distribution, and then I just want to invest in the stock market and collect my dividends. I have no desire to go out and buy real estate and buy a building,
Yeah.
personally. And so, I mean, I'm curious why you want to go into real estate, open up a topless taco truck, do shirts and do that. Because to me, I know my strengths and I'm really, really lazy where I literally just want to collect a monthly check.
Honestly, it's pretty much the same with me. Like I'm not smart with stocks, and I'm not like eBay. You have to have I don't know, like you have to like play with the algorithm a lot with eBay, or you have to have a lot
I
of
don't.
time to like post and stuff. I don't know any of that, and I feel like for me personally, I feel like real estate would be a lot easier just because I've moved around my whole life, and I kind of know a little bit about like the constructions of houses and stuff because I grew up doing like landscaping and working for my brother. Italians, we do like landscaping and home improvement businesses and stuff like that. So we know a little bit about the structure. So I feel like real estate would just be smarter and easier for me to get into, as long as I do it the right way. But of course, you can fuck up anything. And I love food. I'm a fat guy. I love food and tacos.
No,
So
I
I don't
get
know
the
about
food
that
side.
too.
I think a food truck is smart.
Yeah,
I think a food truck is smarter than a brick and mortar restaurant, to be honest,
yeah.
because you
Dude,
could.
there's places in Ohio right now. It's like a house you could buy for $20,000. I mean, how could you pass that up? You know what I mean? If you could flip that, just fix it up a little bit and flip it for 30 or 40 or more, uh, for it's just so cheap, now in certain areas.
I thought you could buy a house for the price of a VCR in Cleveland. Have you ever seen that? Have you
Probably,
seen that
yeah.
video? Have you seen that video?
No.
In Cleveland. Oh my god, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. It's like a minute and a half. I did an internship at this place called the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, when I was down in DC, and during the government shutdown, we would have competitions who could find the funniest YouTube video. So because remember, a government shutdown happens and you can't do anything, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
dude. That was crazy.
so I couldn't do anything yet. Here I am at my job, and so they're like, "What do you got going on, man? Did you see this video?" I'm like, "Oh, did you see this one? Did you see the follow up to that one? Did you see this video over here?" And then and it was great. And then somebody brought in an Xbox and you're playing Call of Duty with a bunch of veterans. We have internship class. I'm like, I have like I beat my boss at Call of Duty today, guys, and like,
That's funny, dude. Those were the times. But
my COD streak is now up to 7. And everybody's like, everybody's just looking at me like, dude, what the fuck? We're all in prestigious offices in Congress, and you're playing Call of Duty, like.
that's hilarious. It wouldn't surprise me if you could buy a house in Cleveland for like the price of a fucking toothpick nowadays. Like the crime rate is so ridiculous out there, and I have to send my wife out there like every other month to get I guess saw by these special doctors and stuff, because with her condition it's so rare and special that the only doctors that know anything about it are at the Cleveland Clinic, and they want us to move. They literally want us to move over there to Cleveland or in the Ohio area, and I'm just like, man, we'd both just rather die here like tomorrow than live there for the rest of our lives. It's like hell. Ohio is hell for sure for people like us.
So no, I just think it's interesting. Not about your wife's condition. I think it's interesting about what business model you want to take and what you want to do. Because I'm the exact opposite. Real estate to me just seems like a fucking pain in the ass. I'd rather own.
It'll keep you busy, right? Maybe yeah, I need that. I need the distraction. I feel like I'd be good at like yelling at people on the phone. Like, go check out this fucking place. I need a property manager to bitch at every now and then. I need like high blood pressure.
Yeah, see that's my thing though, is that I'd rather buy what's known as a REIT, real estate investment trust.
Yeah.
They own real estate, but it's treated as a stock, and they pay me my monthly distribution.
Because I don't even know anything about that. Like, I'm so new to I grew up so fucking broke with a family. I hate to talk shit about them, but they're not the smartest family in the world. You know what I mean? And they're all broke because they're like the broke mafia.
I'll put it this way, right? So my parents and my grandparents grew up broke, and they sent their 2 sons, so my dad and my uncle, to law school, and then basically, I hate to say it, but my dad and his brother got out of the projects, and my grandparents didn't own their house until they were retired in Florida, and they owned a 2-bedroom condo on the first floor in Sunrise, Florida. Nothing fancy, but they paid their mortgage every single, and they were happy. They're in Florida. You're retired. You got a pension. You got Social Security, and that was their first ownership. But my dad obviously was a lawyer, and my uncle's a lawyer. And then following that, I didn't follow my father's footsteps, but I didn't get good at money until I was like 23. But I took to it like a duck takes to water.
Yeah.
And I just understand money as a language. I understand debt as a language. So when I am owing $15,000 on something, my response is, cool, how do I speed this up? Or if I have $4,000 of debt that's due in 5 weeks, for lack of a better word, around that number, maybe even $5,000 that I calculate, my response is saying, how do I handle this? I have $1,400 here. I have another $2,000 coming in over there. I have income producing assets over here, and I have money that I can turn into liquid relatively quickly. How do I get this done in 3? And so that's how I function. And so whatever it is and whatever I'm informed with, it's just how my mind works. I couldn't tell you how to write a novel. Like I speak to all these comic creators, and I'm like, I can't understand how you create a comic book. It doesn't work for me.
It's weird. It's almost like our brains work the total opposite. Because I'm jealous of what you have, but I feel like I could create a novel. Like I'm the creative type, but I do music and stuff like that. But I can't balance a fucking checkbook. You know what I mean? Like I can't. Like I'm stupid with that. I'm addicted. I've got addictive personalities. I don't think straight. I spend money too much that I shouldn't. Like a lot of times I'll live like a rich guy when I'm not a rich guy, and that fucks me over a lot. So I guess I have no choice but to get rich. Because if not, I'm gonna go broke for sure.
See. I spend money, but I make sure like I'll spend. I mean, I just bought some Juju Watkins Topps cards. She autographed them. And they're limited 99. There's 99, then it goes down to 49, then it goes down to 25, 10, 5, 1. And I just bought them for $200 a piece, two of them. I didn't even hesitate. Now I'm gonna keep one for myself because I think she's a superstar waiting to happen in the WNBA. She's 18 and she's a monster. She's a monster. When she comes into the league, Caitlin Clark's in the league, Kiki Rice is in the league. Oh my God, it's gonna be such a fucking field day. Who knew the WNBA is relevant, guys? 6 weeks ago, it wasn't relevant. 6 weeks ago, I put up something on my Facebook wall. This card was $4 6 weeks ago. It's $40 now. It's Caitlin Clark's first rookie card. It's an awesome card.
It's like a stock in itself. It performs better than a stock. Shit.
Yes, like some of them do. Yes. The point I'm getting at is that like I'm creative in how to structure things, and I'm creative as far as interviewing, but I'm very much a money guy, and I don't. But like maybe it's a curse because it's like I can't justify spending $6,000 to produce a comic book.
I feel like you'd be good in Vegas.
Why would I be good in Vegas?
Because, man, like, so there's people out here who play these slot machines and literally make a living off of them. Like, I know this one guy who he's like smart like you. Like he's a numbers guy. He's a money guy, and he thinks about it. He breaks it down strategically. Kind of, it sounds like the way that you break it down. And he was telling me how like he does this for a living, and he makes like $4,000 a month off of slots, just slots. And apparently, there's a way that you do it that most people don't know. And he does the same shit with like blackjack and everything like that. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. So I don't know. Maybe there's some people out there, and you might get banned though too. So they banned this guy from a lot of casinos. But you can have fun while you can.
I don't know though. Like I could just gamble and fucking play. You know, I could fucking gamble on baseball. I mean, the Phillies won today. I mean, Croatia fucking gave up a goal. It cost me $5. Pissed off about that. That was upsetting.
Yeah, if I lose a little bit of money, I'm mad for weeks. So I'm not much of a gambler, man. I gamble on myself more than anything else.
No, but like I can make a lot of money on. I mean, theoretically, I could probably in the next 3 weeks make $500 by taking a little bit of risk on DraftKings and betting on baseball. If I really wanted to. If I wanted to pump in 200, I could turn 200 into 500 very easily. It's not hard. But I understand baseball really well. So
see, with me, it's just like I'm too much of a sissy to take the risk. And most of the time, I'm thankful that I didn't.
No. I mean, I had $27 of bonus bets, so $5 deployed on Croatia. It wasn't terrible. I'm just pissed off that they had legitly like 20 seconds they needed to last.
Yeah,
that's
it makes those apps so damn confusing too.
What'd you say?
I was gonna say they make those apps so damn confusing too.
No. Soccer is just a confusing sport. Soccer is a very confusing sport because they play for 90 minutes, right? But there's no timeouts. There's no time for injury. If a guy's just laying there for 30 minutes, having a grand old time, and the ambulance needs to come, the clock keeps ticking. You would tend to think that they would expect timeout while the ambulance comes, and then we'll continue to play. No. A guy gets injured and he's down for like 45 seconds. The clock is 45 seconds, and at the end of the game, they add time on. So now they have 90 minutes of this shit, and then they add time on. And then, so you played 90 minutes, and then you have 8 minutes of time added on, and versing a timeout would have been perfectly fine, and then you still play your 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a stupid sport. It's like, I'm sorry to everybody who's a soccer fan here, but there's
a football fan.
There's a
Shout
much
out to the Europeans.
that's all I'm saying is that there's a cleaner way how to do this, and apparently they just don't know how to do it. And so I want to make soccer better. That's what this is about. So that
That's a
means
T-shirt right there. Make soccer good again.
soccer is great, but we can make it better.
Make soccer great again. Yeah, that's funny.
That's what I'm doing on Thursday. I'm gonna launch that shirt. I'm gonna take out a bunch of ads saying because the debate's this Thursday, which means that I definitely am gonna go to the liquor store that Thursday.
Oh, they're debating this Thursday. I see. My wife was asking me like, how the hell is this going on with like, isn't Donald Trump like indicted or some shit like that, or like
he is convicted, but he's appealing
right.
it. He's out on bail, and
Shit is
I
so
think
confusing.
again. We it's going to be such an interesting election. There's going to be so much money to be made on this election. It's
Yeah. I
I
feel like
should,
the more trouble he gets in, the more votes he's just gonna get. Honestly, the more controversy.
again, what I should have done is that he had 1 to 5,000 odds in 2016. So for every dollar you bet on Donald Trump in 2016, you won $5,000.
They had it on fucking. They had hold on. They had odds on this shit.
In 2016, if you
You can bet legally.
in the UK, you could.
That's fucking funny, man.
So Robert
That's
Barnes,
funny.
Robert Barnes defended Wesley Snipes, right? Robert
Yeah,
Barnes put, I think, like 50K, the most you could put as a non citizen in the UK, and he made like 1.25 million on Trump in
that
2000.
is insane. Yeah, I'd never met Donald Trump, but I was close to it. In UFC 299, we was in Miami, and he attended, and he
Wait,
was in the same row that we were in because we were in the celebrity row with like the Liver King, Logan Paul, Steve-O, and then fucking Donald Trump was there, dude. It was the coolest shit ever. But it literally took like an hour and a half to leave because they had security everywhere, like for blocks for Donald Trump. It was it was crazy.
yeah, see, I don't get anywhere in Celebrity Row. The only celebrity thing I got to do is I got to go to G-Shock's 40th anniversary party.
Shit, that sounds fun. Is
It
that a
was
YouTuber?
fun. What did you say?
Is that a YouTuber?
No, G-Shock is the watch company.
Oh, duh. I'm overthinking
The
it
G-Shock,
here.
what it was is that
I got my mind in the influencer zone.
so I won some free tickets and I got myself into the VIP area. And
That's
I
fucking
got to
dope.
watch Jay Balvin perform a concert, and I got a free watch. And I got some free alcohol and some free food. It was great.
That's fucking dope.
It was awesome. They're like, "Yo, how'd you get here?" I'm like, "I won some tickets." Like, dude, how'd you win those tickets? I'm like, and like, my sister was coming. I thought I was gonna go with my mom, and then I was like, you know, my parents are probably not gonna. One of them's not gonna want to join me. Who else is gonna fucking go with me? Turns out that my dad, yeah, we'll go, and we had a great time. Free concert. It was cool. Dave Balvin performed for like 45 minutes, and it was awesome. And I like 2 or 3 beers, and it was great.
Sounds like a hell of a promotion.
Oh, it was awesome. I'm a big G-Shock guy. I like their watches, so I've like a watch fetish. It's a problem.
I'm not much of a watch guy, but I feel like once I start getting more money, I'll get into it. I just bought this fucking watch, so I'm still wondering why the fuck this stupid thing was $800. It's the Ultra 2, the Apple Ultra 2, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I can't. Like, I don't want a digital watch, man. Like, I don't want a smartwatch.
yeah.
So I have a Dragon Ball Z watch. I have a League of Legends watch. I have a feature watch, which is the Las Vegas Shoe Company, which is cool. So that watch is sick because it's got like a roulette table vibe to it. It's got the roulette wheel on it too, which is cool.
Oh, it's one of those.
So it's a cool one. It's cool. And then
Yeah.
my favorite thing about that watch is the case it comes in. It comes in a box and you click it open and it's like the roulette, board.
Mm-hmm.
The case is sick on it.
One of my buddies. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, please.
I was just gonna say one of my buddies has this watch, that and he's super fucking rich. Like he's one of those guys who got early on crypto and everything like that. Now he has investments, so he has just money to ball on. He has a watch that literally doesn't even tell time. It's just like an engine, like a mini engine of some car. I forget what kind of car it was, but it's like an actual working engine in his watch. It was the coolest shit ever because you can see like the gears turning and everything inside of it. And it's just these watches get ridiculous, man.
I was tempted to buy a watch. It was a 625 piece watch. That's limited, but obviously I have to suffice that first. I have to be a responsible adult. Um, which I actually have to figure out how much debt I owe. I don't think I owe as much debt as I think I owe. But nonetheless, I can suffice it. Um, I have means to handle it. But the point is, I'm not gonna go buy. It was like 50% off, so it's $500, and they did video games. So they did like asteroids, or as I like to call it, asteroids. Um, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's for a watch?
So the watch is sick, right? So they've done Space Invaders. They've
I
done
feel like I saw this.
Yeah. It was like on Instagram the ad.
I think I saw this. Yeah, yeah.
They look sick, right?
Yeah.
So like it's the type of watch that nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know it's a watch, they're not gonna know what it is, but it's a sick watch.
Yeah. I'm a glasses guy. I'm a sunglasses guy. Like I have a thing over here that holds like 20 sunglasses. It's ridiculous. And I'm starting to become like a shoe guy too. But
See, I
you know,
can't wear shoes because of my disability. I tear up shoes, right?
yeah.
So I would be a shoe guy if my issue and I could wear them, but I drag my feet and that's gonna kill the shoe.
I wonder if there's like a special type of shoe, or maybe there's your $1 million investment idea. You could create like a special shoe.
So the way I see it is that I'll buy. I mean, the issue is that there's shoes that are fine, but you know, there's not going to be an Air Jordan in that style because there's just not enough money there,
Right.
and I'm okay with that. So like, there's shoes, but like I'll buy like $120 shoes. They'll last me a year, and then you just throw them out and you buy a new pair. So I
Yeah, I
can't
don't
have.
even spend that much on shoes.
I mean, they're medical and they last a year and they
Yeah.
take a lot of use. So it's cheaper for me to buy $120 pair of shoes, and they look business casual. They work at my job, and it's just the price of doing business, right? And so that's not my fashion accessory. My
Yeah.
fashion accessory is wearing a shirt like this and then wearing a cool watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that.
So
I'm
I'll
not a
spend.
hat guy either,
I mean,
especially with that long hair. I look
I
stupid
like
in hats.
hats. I buy cool hats.
I look dumb as hell in hats, man. I don't know why.
I look good in a hat, so I can
I
wear like
think
a
it's
hat.
because I'm a big guy. I don't know if big guys look good, and I'm short. As a short big guy, I look weird in hats. If I was taller, maybe it'd be better.
But that's how I feel, is that I'm smart enough to understand that we have to pick accessories that work. So my
Yeah,
watch is what it is, but like I don't want a smartwatch. I'm already connected so much.
I'm a
The
fashion
last thing I
guy.
want is to be further connected. I want to be disconnected.
Yeah, I feel you there.
So yeah, so we talked about a lot of shit.
Yeah, how long has it been? I can't even.
2 hours.
Wow, over 2 hours, man. That's wild.
So we got a lot of shit. I was
Time
nervous this whole
flies.
interview.
I'm nervous my whole life.
Trust me, this is out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's anything else we didn't touch on that's relevant with going on, or we could, because we have a lot of shit.
Hell yeah, man. I'm sure we get a lot of cool clips out of this one.
Oh, it's gonna be fun to cut it up. It's gonna be a lot of fun to cut this thing up. This whole thing's just gonna go straight on TikTok. The dead bodies, that's going right up there. Andrew's gonna be Bella Rockefeller's man pup. Oh my god. That'll be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man.
Oh my God. I'll let her do whatever she wants to me.
Yeah,
I got
I
no
don't
problem
blame
saying
you.
that.
Yeah, she's amazing, man. She's amazing. I simp over a couple of those girls over there. She's one of them.
You did what?
I said I'm simping over a couple of those girls over there. She's one of them.
She's one of them. Jen Thomas is another. I have no
Yeah,
problem admitting that. I love Bella Madison. Bella Madison knows a lot about me.
yeah, yeah. A
She
lot of
knows.
these girls are crazy too, man. A lot of these girls are crazy, but in a
Oh,
good way. Yeah, in a good way.
I can tell some of them are crazy, also in a bad way. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock success, but
Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with this lifestyle and these these
the,
personalities, you know.
the combination of being in the adult industry,
Yeah,
both on a clips for sale basis, exotic dancing, feature dancing, um, modeling, running photo shoots, and potentially running other businesses outside of this shit. There's no way you're not going to be crazy.
yeah, man. I feel like all of us in the entertainment industry is a little bit crazy, you know, in one way or another. That's how we get through this shit.
I agree. I don't think you cannot be crazy. I mean, look at me. Obviously, if I'm interviewing porn stars, there's a reason why, and that is not normal. And you know, because if you when you start interviewing porn stars, it says a little bit about you. It
Yeah,
says a little bit
normal's
about
boring, anyways, right?
what'd you say?
Said normal's boring, anyways.
Normal is boring, and normal is complicated, and also, I mean, I'm curious, and we'll probably end on this. How do you feel about? I'll tell you my philosophy in life, right? I'd rather have done something because chances are I will regret the things that I didn't do rather than the things I've done. And I've done plenty of crazy shit that I don't want to publicize per se, that a bunch of people know privately that I've done. But, you know, I don't regret what I've done. I had a great time doing it. So there you go.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and unfortunately, I live with a lot of those regrets because, like we was talking earlier, my social anxiety has keeping me from doing a lot of those things. And like you said, like I regret it, man. I wish I would have just said fuck it and do it, because at least you have those experience, and whether you fail or not, or you had fun or you didn't, at least you can say you fucking did it. And like, why not, dude? You only got one life to live. Like, and you're a human being. Fucking experience shit and have fun.
I agree. I agree. So obviously, I'm gonna give you a chance to promote yourself. Where can people find you, bother you, hit you up, disturb you, come to your house, whatever they want? Anything they want to
Sure.
do.
My home address is no, I'm just playing. You can check me out at on Instagram at Trap Daddy MMA. That's pretty much the only place I'm active. You'll be seeing me on Netflix, YouTube, and everything coming up real soon. I got a bunch of big podcasts coming up with some pretty big names, so I'm sure I'll be out there and all across the internet real soon. It won't be hard to find me.
Well, fair enough. Fair enough. I appreciate you coming on my show because I'm a little bit small time growing.
Dude, I
Steadily.
appreciate you having me, and this was one of the longest conversations I ever had, and it flew by, so I had a blast, and I appreciate you having me on, brother. I'm looking forward to all the cuts that you make.
I'm looking forward to cutting it up. It's going to be a fun one to cut up. but enough about that. And I keep saying is that if you like people, you got to support them. And what that means is obviously following people on social media, checking out what they're doing, buying their merch. If they have businesses, supporting their businesses goes a long way in many regards as well. And then as far as I'm concerned, everything that I'm doing is obviously I am Pop Anime Comics on the Twitter/X, Pop Anime Comics on Instagram, Pop Anime Comics on Facebook. I am Pop Anime Comics Collectibles on the eBay. So look for comics and collectibles. Come shop with us on eBay at Pop Anime Comics Collectibles. And I carry some really cool stuff in my store. So I carry things like this in my store, which I have all 15 of those in hollow foil. I have all 15 of these in hollow foil as well, which is the whole print run. also, I brought this really in when I have one left of this one, which is for those who are unaware, Major League Baseball just played in Rickwood, which is one of the Negro League stadiums and the oldest stadium. And this is a game used base relic from that game. So I have that card in my eBay store at the moment. And I only have one left, and they sold out pretty quickly. So it's a very cool card. So I carry stuff like that, as well as I just brought in some Hatsumiku stuff. I have some Juju Watkins. And then apparently I carry stuff like this as well. So apparently people are saying they can't see the card, which is a shame. They're saying they can't see the card. So I carry stuff like that as well. And then I carry cool stuff like this too, which is coming soon in the next few weeks. So I carry a variety of cool merch, whether you're into comic books, cards, some base relic stuff, like that card that was at Rickwood, which is used in the game they played on last Thursday. So that's a cool card. So, and then if you're looking for stuff, either I have it or I know somebody who does have it. And I'm always happy to have people get what they want because I get it completely that collectibles are really cool. And I do not carry this, though. I just want to make that crystal clear. That is Megan Bain, and Megan Bain is a monster. And she is a monster. And I just want to ask a very important question to my audience. What did you notice first? How beautiful she is, how well endowed she is, or the fact that her bikini is a butterfly? And these are the questions that we all must ask ourselves and each other in life.
And remember, God is watching.
And God, if God might be watching, but Megan Bain is smoking fucking hot.
God's watching her too.
Megan Bain is smoking fucking hot. And I am launching an investigation to determine if her nipples are pierced. I am fully interested in that investigation, and I am planning to send our top journalist on my team, which is a team of one, to do deep, hands-on investigations here. Oh no! If Megan Bain wants to come on my show, all jokes aside, I would love to interview Megan Bain. Megan Bain is just Megan Bain. But yes, that's everything that I got going on. And on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
Well, man, it was an honor being on your show. I'm looking forward to seeing everything play out with the clips and stuff, and I'll definitely promote it on my side too. So just shoot me everything, man, and yeah, I'm excited to post it up.
Perfect, awesome, and I believe that is a wrap, everybody.